Hello, friends. November is here. We got a new month of action. All your bad beats, lost bets, wipe this slate clean because it's a new month. It's November. And boy, has today been pretty wild. NFL trade deadline. But also Steve Nash being fired from the Brooklyn Nets. And here to join me on the show today, 99 percentile Nets fan, season ticket holder, Reed Wallach. Talk to me about Steve Nash. Is this the move that's going to fix his franchise? Because they're not in a good spot.
Probably not. It's a weird spot for me to be in as a Nets fan. Obviously, Kyrie Irving, all of his kind of wild comments over the last few days, and obviously his checkered history. And then now they're firing Steve Nash, who, first of all, I think is like totally justified. Steve Nash was a poor coach. Had no feel for the position, no real control over the roster. It is what it is. But then the Nets are going to go in, hire Ime Udoka, it looks like, who obviously was suspended by the Celtics for, an inappropriate relationship and all that stuff. So it puts the Nets in like this really kind of terrible light. And, I don't really know how to feel as a Nets fan because, I was a fan before all these guys got here. I was a fan. I'm going to be a fan after they all leave, whether that's in a few weeks or in a few years. So it puts me in a very weird position. All I'm going to say is that, if they're really going to sell their souls to try and win, I'm going to root for the team. I don't really know how I feel about the individuals, but, ultimately, I'm trying to separate a few different emotions here. It's a little tricky as a fan, right? Because like these guys they're bad guys. They've made mistakes and it puts me in a weird position. But ultimately, they play the Bulls tonight and, I'm going to root for the team and, we'll see where it goes from there. But I think that the Nets need to comment on this, honestly, moving forward.
I don't know if you caught the show yesterday or not when I was on with Peter, but I did make the official announcement that I have denounced the Brooklyn Nets as my.
I think a lot of people are going to jump ship from the Nets, honestly. This is it's a really tricky thing. And I don't even know if maybe, people will see my thoughts as wrong and incorrect. I think a lot of people are going to have a lot of really polarizing opinions. I just think it's a weird position for fans to be put in. And, the Nets probably need to answer a few of those questions.
Yeah, so I'm a Knicks fan now. So I alternated back and forth between Nets and Knicks since I moved to New York. I have been a Nets fan for probably the past 6 months steady. I'm off them now, though.
A tumultuous 6 months for you in your Nets tenure.
What's that?
Tumultuous 6 months for your Nets tenure.
So I've officially denounced them. Also, I'm in Manhattan. I was in Brooklyn last year. I'm in Manhattan now, so it just makes more sense. I'm back to being a Knicks fan.
Jalen Brunson, most improved player. Get that Knicks jersey. Yep. Friday night Knicks, UMP. It's all good. It's all good. Let me, I guess, go down with the sinking Nets ship. But yeah, we'll see how these next few days go. I mean, it's never smooth sailing in Nets world.
Yes, and the other big news today was the NFL trade deadline. A record 10 trades made today, and a lot of them were significant, but not really significant enough to really change my opinion on too many teams. Maybe Bradley Chubb going to the Dolphins gives them a bit of a pass rush. The Falcons got Rashad Fenton, a cornerback, which they need because their secondary is completely depleted. But a lot of a couple good players, a lot of role players. Nyheim Hines went to the Bills. Any big takeaways from the trade deadline? Probably not, though, because I don't think the odds have shifted whatsoever. I think the Ravens did a little bit when they got Roquan Smith there yesterday or the day before, whenever that was. But I think it was yesterday. But a lot of trades, nothing too significant, I don't think.
Yeah, nothing really to move the needle. I think the Roquan Smith trade is a good note. Also, just in turn, I guess the Ravens are kind of separating as maybe the third best team in the AFC, just with the Jamar Chase injury. How long is he going to be out for? The Bengals lose on Monday night. Ravens pick up a game, impact defensive player. But in terms of the big picture, I mean, it really just looks like it's the Bills, a little bit of a drop off. It's the Chiefs, a big drop off, and then it's everybody else this year. I just think that, one trade wasn't really going to move the needle on trade deadline day. So
what about the Eagles? You got the Eagles way below the Chiefs, or do you have them in the same category as the Chiefs?
Probably another drop off, and then the Eagles. I forgot the Eagles, but probably 3 tiers of the 3 best teams, and then it's everybody else. But I just don't think one trade deadline move was going to shake that up at the top, in my opinion.
We are going to get to picks for tonight here in a moment. Not to go back to the Nets here, though, but Reed, did you see that the Nets have a job posting for PR coordinator?
Not surprised. I mean, look, who wants to do that job right now? This team, what was the thought process behind I swear when they have maybe they won't even have an Udoka press conference. I know Sean Marks is going to talk to the media any minute now. So that should probably have a ton of interesting quotes there. I don't even know if it started. Yeah, it started, but it is
an official job posting that I just saw a screenshot of. Brooklyn Nets LLC public relations. I'll listen. If any Nets front office people are watching, I will be your PR coordinator. I demand $500,000 a year will be my salary.
Yeah, so. I mean, whoever the PR people now, they do not get paid nearly enough to deal with.
Well, they probably
everything that has been said over the past 2 years.
They're probably looking for a new one because all of their PR people quit.
Exactly.
So yeah, $500,000 a year. I'll do it. Let's talk about some picks though, because we do got a lot going on tonight. We got MacMillan is back. MacMillan is back in action. Reed, you don't have any picks for that on the show, but the early read was earlier today where you did give your picks.
I gave out picks for both games on the show, so I know you have a few. So I'm pumped to hear what you got for these two MacMillan games. But happy MacMillan to all those that celebrate. It is a beautiful time of the year. I think it's now 27 straight days of football every single day. It's a great time of year. And let MacMillan and the chaos come upon us.
Lovely. So yes, after this, go check out the early read to get all of Reed's picks for this week, including for MacMillan tonight. I got one MacMillan bet for tonight. And then I got 2 NHL, and then you got 3 NBA. And then we're going to finish off the show with our game of the night, which is World Series Game 3. After it was delayed last night, it was postponed last night. I didn't even know there was a chance of it being postponed, and then all of a sudden I saw it was. So
weird pacing to the World Series so far.
Yes, and the pitching matchup has changed, which is going to change bets a little bit. Ranger Suarez now getting the start for the Phillies over Noah Syndergaard. But let's get in the community picks, and right before I do that, I'm actually going to shut my window because I forgot to do that right before we went live. So go ahead and bring up the first community pick, Reed, if you want to read it off while I shut my window here.
Yeah, absolutely. So John Legeza says, let me take the Houston Astros on the first 5 money line. I was looking at Houston first 5 team total over 1.5, but I can't get to the minus 150. So I like Yordan Alvarez over 1.5 total bases plus 140. Anytime he's on the road, and Houston is getting 9 frames. So seems like we got 2 from John here, both Houston first 5 money line at minus 125 and Yordan Alvarez over 1.5 total bases at plus 140.
John Legeza, big fan of him. Me and him did a preview show for the Hammer before the postseason. Hopefully get him on the show at some point. But he's back in Houston. So we'll get to our pick for. I don't want to give out too much because that is our game of the night. But he knows his baseball. So any pick that he's going to give out baseball related, I will trust. But we will give out our picks for that game in a little bit. Let's bring up the next community pick. Nets win for Ime today, and this is from Ime to the Nets. It's his Twitter username with a picture of him as his profile picture, and this is at DeGoat2009. Thoughts on that one, Reed?
I got to play on this game, so no comment. But always, before the game, I didn't have this in the BetSlip, rundown, but I do my Nets one prop for each game. That's been going pretty well. I think it's up like 2.4 units since the start of the season. So I'll tweet that out after the show, my prop play. And I have a play on this game anyway on the side. So we'll get to that in a few minutes.
All right, there we go. Let's bring up the next pick. Underdog betting specialist at Underdog Special. Ohio +3, Buffalo 0-5 in last 5 in Ohio. Teams are comparable on offense. Ohio worse defense, but should balance out at home. I handicapped that game. I did not like anything in it, so I'm staying away. But I trust you, Underdog Special. I like your pick. And of course, Reed, you said you do, I think, have a pick for this game. But we don't want to spoil today's episode of early Reed. So check that out for Reed's pick for that game.
Yeah, check that out. Have a play on the side. It was part of our MacMillan section, I think the third section of the show. So make sure you check that out. But yeah, Ohio +3.
Yeah, my pick is for the other MacMillan game tonight. I'll get to that in a little bit. But let's finish up these community picks. I think we have 2 more. Louis Martinez, my good old friend Iain MacBets. That's me. Wolves +4. Vegas Golden Knights -1.5. Heat -1. It was +2 last night. Reed, do you have anything to say about those two NBA games?
I don't really love how the Heat have played to start the season. Have a prop in that game, so not sure how I feel about it. Wolves +4. Maybe they start to turn it around. Gobert Towns, is that really going to start meshing soon? Wolves a little bit slow out of the gate. Don't hate Wolves underdog +4. I'm not sure how I feel about the Heat though. No real strong feels there. It's small NBA slate. Those are the two games I stayed away from.
I will say for the I do have a pick on the Vegas Golden Knights game. He's on the puck line against the Capitals. I'm not brave enough to do that. I'm on the Golden Knights money line. I wrote it in my NHL Best Bets article today. Don't have that pick as a show or on the show today. But yeah, Golden Knights, very impressive through the first couple of weeks of the season. A team that I was actually low on. I took the under on their win total this year, or on their points total, I should say. But they're doing very well. And Logan Thompson, I don't know if it's been confirmed yet, but he was expected to start net for them tonight. .943 save percentage through his first 6 starts. So Golden Knights, very impressive so far. I'm just taking them on the money line. I got them at -155. If you want to get more aggressive and take puck line, go ahead. But I think that's a little aggressive, especially on the road here in Washington. So that's my take on the Golden Knights game. Do we have another Twitter one? I think we have one more. J_Lops, Kent State team total under 34. The only time they've reached this total this season was against Long Island University. Not going to spoil your pick for that. Read on. Can you touch on it at all without spoiling your pick?
Yeah. Kent State plays at one of the fastest tempos in the entire country. They're the Golden Flashes, the flash fast offense. So a lot of possessions coming here in this one. Not giving away my side. The total opened huge, and then it got steamed down under. So maybe other smart people are kind of on your side that this game might be lower scoring than expected. But yeah, check out the earlier read for I have a play on the side here.
Yeah, I don't have a play on the total or a take on the total, but my play is on a side in that one. We'll get to that here momentarily. But Beers and Bow Ties in the chat starts off. Old Reed, I backed your Nets over 50.5 games. Let's go.
Little off the
not
pace
looking
here.
good.
Little off the pace at 2 and what are we? 2 and 5 now.
2 and 5, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see how this goes. I imagine there will be more distractions to come, but hopefully they could just play the basketball games and I could watch the team. So we'll see.
All right. And he also said 2-team parlay, Astros money line with Buffalo money line, little +209 parlay with Beers and Bow Ties. Yeah, we'll talk about the Astros game at the end of the show and check out early Reed for his take on the Buffalo game. I found out recently in New York, can't bet on a regulated book on New York universities.
Oh.
So
and then when you're in Jersey, you can't do it on a Jersey college sports. You can't do it on.
Mm-hmm.
So like Jersey, you can't bet on Rutgers.
I had to go an alternate route to bet on the Syracuse game this past week.
You had to call on a friend.
Had to make a couple phone calls. Don't worry about it. All right, let's get to our picks for tonight. Reed, I believe you have 3 NBA, correct?
Yep. We'll start where the misery is in Brooklyn. The Nets second half a back-to-back against the Bulls. I'm going to take the Nets though. The post Steve Nash dead cat bounce. I also, this is going to sound kind of counterintuitive. I think that the Nets offense is going to look a lot better with Ben Simmons out of the game. He's missing his second straight game with knee soreness. I think that the Nets offense, the roles are more defined when Simmons is not on the floor. There's not 2 guys clogging the paint. Nick Claxton could run through the paint, screen and roll. Durant still playing at a high level. I think that, this Bulls team is kind of close to the middle of the pack. I think the Nets still have the offense to take over. Bulls also a lot of injuries, a lot of game time decisions. Ayo Dosunmu, Kobe White, Zach LaVine. Who knows who's going to play? I know it's second. I have a back-to-back, but I think the Nets, maybe there's an uptick here now that Nash is out because we know Durant wasn't a big fan of him. He didn't have a good feel for the offense and the rotation for that matter. Jacque Vaughn probably isn't much better, but maybe we see more spirited effort on defense. So give me the Nets -2 against the Bulls.
All right, Nets -2 against the Bulls. Who'd you say is their interim coach now?
Jacque Vaughn, who he also might be a moron. So I'm not too confident in him, but we'll see how it goes long term, considering it's like most likely going to be Ime Udoka. So we'll see how it goes there. That was like Durant's guy. So.
All right, let's get into my first pick here. I got one from Action, then two in the NHL. So let's start with my Maction play. Big underdog. I'm playing two big underdogs tonight. One of them is in this Maction game. Ball State. Give me them on the money line, plus 220. Forget the points. I'll just take the money line.
Tell that bookie you called the other night for the Syracuse game. You can keep your points. I'm taking the money line.
That's right. And a big reason why, I mean, this is kind of, maybe I'm making the handicapping too simplistic here. But 54.39% of Ball State's call plays are passing plays. That is the 30th highest rate in the country. And Kent State can't stop the pass. 128th, third last in the country in opponent yards per pass attempt, allowing an average of 9.3 yards per throw, and 128th in opponent completion percentage, allowing a completion percentage of 70.35%. So I think Ball State's going to have some success through the air. They obviously have some defensive issues, which I would think is the main reason why they're a big underdog. But I think it's going to be a shootout, and at plus 220, I'll take a shot on Ball State pulling it off.
Yeah, Gabe had a play on the show. I don't disagree. So I don't know if that gives it away or not, but I don't disagree. But listen, these are, with all due respect to Kent State, Ball State, these are low-quality college football teams. You know, the margin between the teams probably isn't as significant as you would think by this line. And, you know, Kent State, Colin Schley, their starting quarterback, he missed their last game against Akron. Maybe he goes tonight. I haven't seen confirmed word. You'd think he is going to go, considering he was on track to play last week, then was a late scratch. The real question is, you know, they left 27 points to Akron, who's the worst team in the MAC. So Colin Schley isn't fixing that. So, you know, I don't hate the look at Ball State. Big price tag here for a team that probably isn't much worse than Kent State.
Yep, and for the opening night of Action, why not get a little crazy with a big?
I agree. I love it.
Winner. So there you go. That's my Action pick for tonight. I got two in the NHL, but let's go back to the NBA. Reed, what's your second NBA play for tonight?
Yeah, going to go Steph Curry over 29.5 points, 30-plus points, plus 140. So a little alt line here. He scored 30-plus in 6 of 7 games, including 33 against the same Miami Heat team last week. So Steph's playing real well. His normal prop is at 28.5 at even money. I think you could kick that up an extra point and go over the 29.5. The Heat defense, I know, has a very nice reputation, but this season not as much. 23rd in points allowed per 100 possessions. So I think we see a big Steph game off the loss over the weekend to the Hornets. I think bounce back to the Warriors. Give me Steph over 29.5 points plus 140.
There you go. A little player prop for tonight. Now let's switch back to the ice for some hockey action here. I just gave out a plus 220 money line pick in Maction. Let's take a look at a big money line underdog pick for the NHL. And also this pick was sent in. We didn't talk about it, but a community pick did get sent in. I think it was Third and Ben is on this play as well. Give me the Seattle Kraken plus 205 against the Calgary Flames tonight for another big underdog here. Kraken have taken a huge step forward this season. I have been impressed by them. I think the Flames should be favorites in this game, but I think this line is pretty mispriced. Kraken 4th in the NHL in 5-on-5 Corsi percentage, one step above the Flames, are ranked 5th. They're also 6th in expected goals per 60 minutes. Per 60 minutes ratio, so that takes into account both expected goals for and expected goals against. So 6th in that, and the Flames coming at 9th. So advanced analytics, if you look at the 5-on-5 numbers, the Kraken have a slight advantage against the Flames. They are in Calgary. So like I said, I think Flames should be favored, but I think this game is mispriced. I think this is basing things off of last season a little bit too much. So if you're looking for a big underdog play for tonight's NHL slate, love the Kraken plus 205. You could always take them on the puck line plus 1.5 if you want to not quite get as aggressive. But I'm going to take a shot here. Kraken plus 205.
Tell the bookie to keep the goal. Go on money line.
That's right. Yeah, keep the goal. I have been kind of hot in the NHL lately, so this is a little bit of a heat check. So we'll see how it goes.
All right, let's say I can't wait for this is late night, right?
Yeah, I think 10 p.m. start. I think it's in Calgary. So
I want a 1 a.m. tweet from @Iain MacBets, like Kraken money line, green check, whale, money bag.
Done.
Yeah.
Show me some love. I need 250 retweets and likes, and I'll give out another NHL play for tomorrow. All right, go ahead with your last NBA pick.
Yeah, the Magic, this was a team I took their win total over. They been terrible out of the gate, but they've also played a really tough schedule, second hardest schedule in terms of net efficiency. So I think you're going to start getting some good buy low opportunities on the Magic, who haven't really been playing that bad. They have a top 10 defense. Paolo Banchero, their number one pick, has looked great. You're facing an OKC team that we know them as this rebuilding unit. They've played the 20th hardest schedule. They've played the Clippers twice, who are, resting Kawhi Leonard. He's now hurt. So they've got a few breaks, and OKC's offense 24th in points per 100 possessions. So I think that Orlando defense is going to show up tonight, and they're in a good bounce back spot. +3. Give me Orlando. I think that they're the better team, and at 1-5, they're being a little undervalued. And I think you're going to start to see them, play better, get closer to that 30 win mark like I had projected early in the season. These are two bottom of the barrel teams. I don't see much difference here, and I like Orlando better. So +3, give me the Magic.
So you're telling the bookie that you will take the points. Bookie's not.
I'm going to take the 3. I'm going to take the 3 to be safe. But if the Magic won, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm going to tell the bookie I want my points. Thank you very much.
All right. I thought this was going to be a big money
line. I'll
pay
the -110 vig. Thank you.
I thought it was going to be a big money line underdog show here, Reed. You're killing my vibe with taking 3 points. How dare you? All right, my last NHL pick here for tonight, and I do have 2 more, like I mentioned I have 5 total for tonight, so only 2 on the show. You can see all of them at BetSided in my NHL Best Bets article. Usually I only give out 3 in that article. Today I got crazy and wrote 5. So my second that I'm giving out on the show, though, the New Jersey Devils, only slight favorites against the Vancouver Canucks tonight. And I've talked about the Devils on the show already before. The Devils have been the surprise of the NHL season. If you like advanced analytics, you got to like this Devils team. Second in 5-on-5 Corsi percentage, first expected goals for per 60 minutes, first expected goals against per 60 minutes. So I don't know how, I don't know why. I don't know if it's maybe just a small sample size and we'll see them regress. I don't know if it's some coaching. I don't know if young guys on the team are just playing good, but if you look at the advanced analytics, somehow the New Jersey Devils are the best team in the NHL. Now, they have had some goaltending issues that has held them back a little bit this season and some shooting issues. But like I said, if you like advanced analytics, and I certainly do, the Devils are quite literally the best team in the NHL in the first few weeks, which is wild. So I will take them at -115 against a Vancouver Canucks team that has kind of spiraled out of control here and has really not looked good, or at least as good as we expected them to this season. So I'll take the Devils.
The Devils were projected to be like a bottom of the barrel team, right?
Yeah, they weren't. Yeah, they're supposed to be like the most irrelevant team in the NHL. Like not the worst team, but like certainly not a playoff team. So
awesome. Love to see Jersey take a step forward here.
Yes, I will be going to New Jersey to watch them play my Toronto Maple Leafs in a few weeks here. I think about 3 weeks, I think.
All right, so, big road trip. 2 potential playoff teams.
Yeah. Well, the Leafs have not been good. It's been tough. They went 0-2-1 against the 3 California teams recently, and the California team stinks. So,
bro, my favorite team is the Nets. They are literally the biggest joke in sports right now.
Yes, fair. Well, yeah. Thankfully, they're taking some attention away from the Maple Leafs. The Maple Leafs, thankfully, don't have any Kyrie Irvings on their team. But in terms of disappointment starts to the year, they're right up there with the Nets. All right. Those are our picks. Let's take a look at the recap of our picks in case you missed a few there. I'm taking some big-time underdog shots tonight. Give me Ball State +220 against Kent State and the Seattle Kraken +205 against the Calgary Flames. I'm also on the Devils -115 against the Vancouver Canucks. Redraw Nets -2 over 29.5 points for Steph Curry in Orlando +3 against the Thunder. And moving on, the next thing that we're going to talk about here is some early leans for NFL Week 9 here. And I'll go first here because I'm just gonna keep up with the theme of underdogs here. I will take the Jacksonville Jaguars. Not as big of an underdog as some of my other picks, but I'll take them on the money line against the Raiders this week. The Raiders. We were talking about disappointing teams. Raiders have been extremely disappointing. I had high hopes for them this year. A lot of people did. But they have not been good, and mainly it's been their defense. I'm going to rattle off a few stats here and where they rank defensively. 27th in opponent yards per pass attempt, 30th in opponent completion percentage, dead last in sack percentage, can't create any pressure, 29th in opponent third down conversion rate, 31st in opponent red zone touchdown percentage. So basically every single stat you look at, they're in the bottom 5, if not the bottom 3. And their offense hasn't quite lived up to its potential either. So if you actually compare the two teams, the Jaguars and the Raiders. Offensively, their numbers are all very similar, but the Jaguars defense has been leagues above the Raiders defense. So Jaguars underdogs at home. I know the Jaguars, what are they, 2-6 now? But I tweeted out the updated net yards per play rankings today. Jaguars 9th in the NFL in net yards per play. Their red zone issues have kind of cost them. They've had some bad luck. A couple of bad turnovers in the red zone by Trevor Lawrence. He loves to throw a good end zone pick. But if you're looking for a team to buy low on, a team that I think we're going to see some positive regression from in terms of their record, I think the Jaguars might be a good buy low candidate. So I will back them in week 9 plus 108 on the money line against the Raiders.
Yeah, I don't hate the look. And I have the Jags to win the AFC South. I thought that they were going to make that big step forward. I wasn't high on anyone in the South. And like, I know they're 2-6 and it feels like they can't stay out their own way, but I feel like my ideal was there. I mean, I got them like plus 750. The Titans haven't wowed me. The Colts are now starting Sam Ellinger and the Texans suck. So like, I don't hate the look at all. And for the Raiders, what an egg they laid against the Saints after I thought that they were going to start to go on a bit of a run here. You know, they beat the Texans, some positive momentum. And I think the bottom of the AFC wildcard picture is possible. Like, you can make a run and still get in the mix here. There's still time, but they lay an egg like that to New Orleans. I just can't get behind them. Now they're going cross country. No, thanks. I don't hate this Jags look at all. My pick, though.
Now, I looked at this in the outline, Reed. I hope this was a typo.
No, it is fact here. I lean towards the Chargers side here at -3 against the Falcons. Chargers coming off a bye. And I think the Falcons, I think they're better than teams gave them credit for, or people besides you gave them credit for before the season started. But I think in specific situations, that's where they are set to thrive, when they are catching close to a touchdown. You know, they are big underdogs with, you know, some wiggle room at the end of games to have their offense keep up and get into the end zone or kick a late field goal to cover. This is a projected, you know, you're saying the Falcons pretty much have to win this game at home against a quality Chargers team who's coming off a bye. The Chargers are a team that I'm afraid to back a lot, but it's a Falcons team, you know, really close call against the Panthers, who I think the Panthers are terrible. Closed about a 4-point favorite in that game. I had the Falcons. Still not sure how they didn't cover that one. Shout out DJ Moore, but you know, I think that Chargers, this is kind of you're paying a premium to back Atlanta this week. So I like the Chargers -3. I think there's enough, it's too close where I don't have to be worried about the Chargers to hold the lead, and I don't have to, you know, I don't trust the Falcons to win this game outright.
Yeah, I unfortunately kind of agree with you. I'm on the Chargers this week as well. The Falcons defense is already bad and now they're banged up. That's why they went and got that cornerback this week. Their secondary specifically is just completely depleted. AJ Terrell, I don't know if he'll be back this week, but he missed last week and it really showed. I mean, they got torched by PJ Walker. Like, now they have to go up against Justin Herbert, who has been kind of disappointing this year, but coming off a bye week, even with the Chargers banged up, I think it's just the Falcons can hang with some teams if they're healthy, but they're not, especially defensively. I think they're like the second worst defense in the NFL now next to the Lions. So I'm with you. I think the spread's a little too small.
Like if this was like 4.5, 6, right, like, yeah, we're talking just like, I also don't trust the Chargers as a big favorite. So when all they basically have to do is win the game, because that's what the spread is implying. I mean, like 1-2, you know, you're saying pretty much they have to win the game. I think that lends itself to the Chargers, who, in my opinion, are the better team.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Let's move on to the game of the night here. It is World Series Game 3. Also, by the way, side note, I did want to bring this up before we get into that. We are both alive in Survivor. If anyone watched last week, you know that we are in the final 21 of a huge Survivor pool. Unfortunately, no one was eliminated this week. One brave soul took the Falcons, so they almost got eliminated, but they came through.
You ended up doing Dallas, right?
Yeah, we were both on Dallas. So
okay,
easy winner there. And there's only 4 teams selected, and it was the 3 big favorites and then the Falcons, because Eagles beat the Steelers and Bills beat the Packers. So no blood.
Just looking at the board. 9. Looking at the board, I think it's going to be pretty chalky again this weekend. You know, you hope for one upset, but you know, what is it? It's Chiefs double digit on Sunday night.
Yep.
Eagles double digit against Houston.
Yep.
And the Bills, right? They're double digits at the Jets. I think that's it for like, I imagine people are going to go with those 3, assuming that people have those 3 left. And it's tough to really find a flaw in any of those 3, in my opinion. Is anyone scare you more than others? I kind of think all 3 are just going to win.
Actually, kind of surprising, the Eagles scare me a little bit because it's Thursday night football. And
that would be the only reason, but the Eagles still probably win, right? Like,
Yes.
they don't have like any significant injuries or anything. So
Right.
I guess if I had to pick one, maybe the Eagles lose, but I think all three are likely going to win, and this is going to continue on for another week.
Another potential pick, Bengals touchdown favorites over the Panthers too.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that one. Yeah.
All right, that was some quick Survivor update. If anyone was wondering if we are still live, we are. We are on to week 9. We'll see what happens there. But let's talk game of the night here. World Series Game 3 got postponed last night due to weather, and now the Phillies have gone with a pitching change. They were going to start Noah Syndergaard. It is now Ranger Suarez, who came in for relief in Game 1, I believe. Was it Game 1 he came in for relief? Doesn't matter.
Yes.
He did come in for relief. Now he's going to start for the Phillies in Game 3 tonight. Astros, small favorites, minus 120-ish, depending on where you're looking. Phillies, small home underdogs, and what I assume will be a fantastic atmosphere there in Philadelphia. But Reed, why don't you start us off here? What is your best bet for the game of the night?
Yeah, I like the Phillies going into this series. I just think that they're kind of like that team of destiny, team that caught fire. All the stoppages maybe kind of stunted that theory, but I like the Phils tonight. Suarez has been just dynamite in this postseason. 9 2/3 innings, has a 1.86 ERA, and you look at Lance McCullers, and while the Astros have the best bullpen ERA, McCullers might really put a lot of pressure on this Astros pen. Has an 11% walk rate this year, and this is a Phillies team that's really seeing the ball well at the plate. Maybe they could work some counts, get McCullers out of this game, and the sooner you get to that Astros bullpen, the more variance comes up. I know, like I said, they had the best ERA as a unit, but you never know. It's the postseason, more variables there. I like Suarez, the lefty. This Astros offense just really hasn't done it for me this postseason, so I'll take the Phils as small home underdogs. I don't think the gap between these two teams is that much right now.
We are on opposite sides here, my friend. I will take the Houston Astros. Big reason why is just because I don't like the pitching matchup, actually, or the pitching change. I don't see why they couldn't have stayed with Syndergaard here, because Astros 726 OPS against righties this season, all the way up to 783 against lefties, are one of the best offenses against lefties this season. Ranger Suarez faced the Astros in his last regular season start on October 4th. Gave up 6 earned runs in only 3 innings. And the opposite is true here for Lance McCullers. He's a righty. Phillies worse against righties, 769 against lefties OPS. That drops down to 726 against righties. And he also played against the Phillies on October 30. He only gave up 1 earned run in 6 innings. So obviously I'm just talking 1 game for each of them against their opponent. But
Bring it on now. Bring it on.
I just listen. I like the Phillies, but I think they're a little bit overmatched here.
All right, we'll see.
We will see. The BetSided community poll, Reed, is on your side. They're backing the Phillies. Does that make you more confident?
The community knows what they're talking about. That's why.
Do they? They were on
Bengals
Bengals
last night.
They're 0-1 this week.
They had the Bengals last night?
Yeah.
What'd you have?
Browns.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Did you tell your bookie to keep the points?
No, I took the points, unfortunately. I did take the points in that one. Didn't need them, turns out, but a win is a win. So there you go. That is our show for today. As soon as we close off here in 30 seconds, go check out the early read, not only for Reed Wallach's best bets for college football for this weekend, but for his best bets for MACtion tonight. And Daily Betslip back tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern, same time. It'll be myself, Ben Heisler. Joe Ostrowski is going to join me, the first ever recurring guest, because he has a lot invested in the Philadelphia Phillies. So we're going to talk Phillies. We're going to talk their survivor pool, which is his pool, which he is hosting. And obviously we'll talk maybe some Thursday night football as well. So check that out, 5 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow we'll be back. Reed, any final thoughts?
like I said, happy MACtion to all that celebrate. It's a beautiful, beautiful time of year. And pray for me as I, go into this dark pit that is rooting for the Nets tonight.
Yeah, it's tough. Are you going to be in Barclays Center tonight?
Not tonight. They actually hit the road a lot soon, but I'll be there next Wednesday when we play the Knicks.
There you go. Were you there when they lost to the Raptors in the second game of the season?
Beat the Raptors, and I was there.
Damn, I thought the Raptors won. Brutal.
I was there for that one. Beat the Raptors.
All right, there you go. That is our show. Thank you so much for watching. Give us a like. Please subscribe to the channel. Best of luck with all of your bets tonight. Gambler, the gambling god, may they bless you. I'll talk to you tomorrow.